Hello folks, some more great lease deals for you. We're starting off with EVs, then moving on to plug-in hybrids, then petrol and diesel, and then we've got some vans coming up for you at the end. Massive thanks to ALA Insurance for sponsoring today's video, link in the video description and pinned as the top comment. And as always, thanks to leasing.com for providing all these magnificent deals. My link is again in the video description and pinned as the top comment for you. And using both those links does help support the channel. Let's get started. I'm going to whip through this a bit today because unbelievably, folks, I'm going to China later and I need to get to the airport. Right, we've got the Dacia Spring. We're starting off with the cheap and cheerful, just the cheapest thing that you can get as an EV at the moment. £152 a month with about 600 quid up front, about 700 quid up front, actually. I need to count, don't I? 308 litres of boot space, 19.1 seconds to 62. So, you know, it's limited. 140 miles of range. You can get the 65 rather than the 45. That gives you a little bit more power. It's about an extra 30 quid a month. That's a 2-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Very few people are going to do 10,000 miles in this one. So if you went down to, say, 5,000 miles, that knocks, I don't know, 10, 11 quid a month off it. So 140 quid a month. But it might be a nice little second car. Some of you might find the limitations of the car not a problem. Vauxhall Frontiera Estate is a car with far fewer limitations. Only got 186 miles of range, so nothing too exciting on that front. But it's got 460 litres of boot space, 12.8 second 0 to 62 time. And this is probably more of a realistic second car for a lot of people. We are looking at about 900 quid up front and 241 a month on that. It's the GS spec, so should be quite nice and looks like good value. Peugeot E2008 GT automatic, obviously, because it's electric. 434 litres of boot space, 247 miles of range and 9.1 second 0 to 62 time. This one's a 3-year deal. You're looking at about 1,200 quid up front and then 283 a month. Then we've got the VW ID3, and this one's giving you bags of value. It's the Match Pro S. That's the one with the bigger battery. So you've got 350 miles of range. So this could be a first car in pretty much anyone's household, I would imagine. 8.2 second 0 to 62 time, 385 litres of boot space. This one's sitting on the 20-inch alloys. The ID3, when it came out, was a bit flawed. It was a bit beta when they released it. But this latest version of the car feels very well sorted. It is quite an impressive thing. My mate Alex just took the GTX version of this over to Munich and did an absolutely massive sort of European road trip and found it a bit of a dream, to be honest. We're looking at about 1,200 quid up front and £307 a month. That's on a 2-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. If you went up to a 3-year deal, it's only adding 8 quid a month onto it. So perhaps something to bear in mind. Peugeot E5008 is next. This one's the Allure 73 kilowatt hour. That gives you 310 miles of range, 9.7 second 0 to 62 time, and 348 litres of boot space. But that's because this is a 7-seater. With that back row of seats down, it's going to be over 800 litres of boot space. 1,400 quid up front and 371 a month on a 2-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. The Xpeng G6, we saw some crazy deals on this a couple of weeks ago. Things have settled down to a more realistic price. You're looking at about 1,550 up front and 391 a month, but you get quite a lot of car for that. If you haven't been in an Xpeng yet, they're very well equipped and the fit and finish is pretty blooming good, to be fair. 354 miles of range, 6.2 second 0 to 62 time, 571 litres of boot space. Of course, it's a not very well disguised rival to the Tesla Model Y. And at the moment, it looks like a good deal. 10,000 miles a year, 3-year deal for $391 a month. The Ford Capri, this is the one with the big battery. 1,200 quid up front and 398 a month. And this really does give you a bit of value. 572 litres of boot space, 6.4 second 0 to 62 time, and 389 miles of range, which is not to be sniffed at. It's in stock, 1,200 quid up front, 398 a month. I'll tell you what, there's some value in that one. That's a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Ioniq 6, we've seen a lot lately. We know it's on 800 volt architecture for super fast charging. We know you've got over 330 miles of range. You're looking around about 1,500, 1,600 quid up front and 409 a month on that one at the moment. BYD Sea Lion 7, this is the comfort trim, 83 kilowatt hour battery that should be good for 300 miles of range, £440 a month. With 1,700 up front, 520 litres of boot space in this one, 6.7 second 0 to 62 time. I've done a video on one of these, so by all means go and check that out. Then we've got the Cupra Tavascan. This one's got the winter pack, so you're getting your heat pump, etc. And it's V2 trim. I love V2 trim on Cupra. I think it's everything you need and not very much that you don't. 339 miles of range, 6.8 second 0 to 62 time, and 540 litres of boot space. And it's just a great looking car, the Tavascan. I love all the Cupra stuff, as you probably know, because I go on about it all the time. But I just think the cars look really nice. 21-inch alloys. It's pretty quick off the mark. You've got loads of boot space, loads of range. You're looking at sort of 1,650 up front, 459 quid a month. It's not too shabby. Neither is this. The Polestar 4, still great deals on these. This is the single motor one, so it hasn't got the daft 0 to 62 time, but still 7.1 seconds. So it's not exactly slow, is it, ladies and gents? This one's also got the Pilot Pack, £476 a month, and around about 1,800 quid up front on a 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year, 526 litres of boot space, 385 miles of range. And it's just a glorious thing to drive. Again, I've done a video on one of these, so go and check that out. But it's a very nice thing. It's just super solidly built. Everything about the car is well done. And I think at that sort of price, that really is a bargain. It's not that long ago. These were £800-900 a month. So at 476, it seems like a good place to get one. If you want to go for the super spicy one, there are still some okay deals around, but they're not as cheap as they were at some points. That one's got a 3.8 second 0 to 62 time, but I think the value lies in this single motor version at the moment. Ioniq 5N, still great deals on these. 1,800 up front, 613 a month, 278 miles of range, 3.4 second 0 to 62 time, 480 litres of boot space. Obviously, this thing's all about performance. It's an absolute monster. People call it the EV for petrol heads, and it's exactly that. It delivers everything you want from a performance car and then almost takes it into a new realm, you know, something we haven't seen before. It's amazing in pretty much every way. That's a 2-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Interestingly, if you made this an 18-month deal, it drops the monthly by about £60 a month. And you might think, well, why do I want that? But this might be a car you want as a toy for not very long, for 18 months, and then you want rid of it. There is the option there, and it is a bit cheaper, so I'm just making you aware. Audi A6 e-tron Sportback Edition 1, 2,150 up front and 615 a month, gets you 355 miles of range, 7 second 0 to 62 time, 502 litres of boot space, and 21-inch alloys. We don't have a picture of that one yet because it's factory fresh. That's a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Folks, if you're considering getting yourself a lease car or buying a used car for a decent amount of money or a brand new car for a decent amount of money, whatever, consider going to ALA to look at your gap insurance. Use the code GYM10 at checkout, and it will save you 10% off site-wide. A couple of people have said to me in the last week that they couldn't get the code to work. So let me just show you how it works. I'm just going to go for a lease quote here very quickly. We're going to say it's a 30 grand Dacia, and off we go. So we'll say initial rental cover £1,000, 3 years worth of cover, monthly rental on it's, I don't know, 300 quid a month. And it's going to cost us 140 quid for 3 years cover. The discount code is here, and you literally just take out the one that's already in there, put in GYM10, click away, and it's applied the discount. So that makes that £132.84. You've then got options to add things like scratch and dent cover, alloy wheel and tyre insurance, key cover, breakdown cover. All those things can be added. Hopefully you'll get some breakdown cover with a brand new car. So, you know, have a look into that. But if not, you can add it here. Use the code GYM10. You can give them a ring and do it that way if you want. They'll accept the code over the phone as well, and it will save you 10% site-wide. Massive thanks to ALA for being such a wonderful sponsor, And thanks for you guys for supporting them. Onto the plug-in hybrids, we've still got the MGHS. This is trophy spec, 323 a month, with about 1,200 up front. That's on a 3-year deal. All electric range on that one is pretty good, 75 miles, in fact. So that's a lot of value for that much money. 6.8 second 0 to 62, 507 litres of boot space. Now, the BYD CLU has been really popular on leasing.com. It's a grand up front and £340 a month. 8.9 second 0 to 62 time, 425 litres of boot space. All electric range on that one is 50 miles. That's a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. The Tucson plug-in hybrid. I think there's a new Tucson coming before too long. So there are some really good value deals on these at the moment. 1,300 quid up front and 343 a month. And you get a lot of car for that. 616 litres of boot space, 8.2 second 0 to 62 time. Tucson's always one of the most popular cars in the UK. 43 miles of all electric range on that one. 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year, 1,300 up front and 343 a month. Cupra Formentor 1.5 e-hybrid V2 DSG. Again, I like the V2 trim level in Cupra. I think it's probably the sweet spot. 74 miles of all electric range on this. So that means you can do a lot of short journeys, medium length journeys on all electric power. And if you can charge from home, even with a 3-pin plug, it's going to save you an absolute fortune if you get yourself on a nice overnight tariff. 7.9 second 0 to 62 time, 345 litres of boot space. And it's a great car. There is one coming up in the petrol section of the video as well, but it's more expensive than this. Folks, just a very quick reminder to subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so. Thanks. VW Passat Estate. Is this the black edition? So you're fully spec'd up on this. 8.1 second 0 to 62 time, 510 litres of boot space. You lose a little bit of boot space compared to the standard petrol or diesel one because obviously the batteries have to go somewhere. But I don't think that's bad at all. But look at this, 78 miles of all electric range, which makes this car a little bit of a game changer. That's genuinely a car where you can do your short journeys on electricity, your long journeys you can do with a mixture or on petrol, but you can still get tons of cargo in there and yourself and 4 adult passengers in relative comfort. 1,500 up front, 404 a month. That's a 3-year, 10,000 mile a year deal. Mazda CX-60, we've seen quite a lot in these videos. 1,224 up front, 408 a month. That still looks like good value. The Cupra Terramar, again, the plug-in hybrid from VW Audi Group. Again, it's a V2, which is that nice trim level. About 1,500 up front and 412 a month in that one. 8.3 second 0 to 62 time, 400 litres of boot space and 72 miles of all electric range. 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year on that one. BMW 5 Series, the 530e M Sport. We're looking at about £2,000 up front and 574 a month on that. 6.3 second 0 to 62 time, 520 litres of boot space. This is what the 5 Series is about to me. It's about that lovely interior and just that feeling of driving something special that you get. 63 miles of all electric range in this one. This is a £60,000 car, folks. Let's remember that for a second. 60 grand for this car. £2,000 up front, 574 a month on a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Audi Q5, this is the e-Quattro S-Line S-Tronic. All electric range on this is 38 miles, which is not amazing, is it? But otherwise, 6.1 second 0 to 62 time, 460 litres of boot space, 1,778 up front and 592 a month on a 3-year deal. Then we've got the Volvo XC60 plug-in hybrid. It's the T6 Plus Black Edition. With the automatic, obviously, 5.7 second 0 to 62 time, 468 litres of boot space. The all-electric range on this one's 49 miles. Again, it's like £61,000 car, that. That was a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. Onto the petrols and diesels and standard hybrids, i.e. non-plug-ins, and this is one of them. It's the MG3 1.5 SE. About 900 quid up front and £208 a month on that. 64 mpg, 8 second 0 to 62 time, 241 litres of boot space. I drove one of these recently, only for about 20 minutes. I thought it was brilliant. It was great fun. It, to me, had like the mannerisms of a good Fiesta. It was just fun, and you could throw it around a little bit, and it seemed to enjoy it. That's a 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year on that one. Jeep Avenger hatchback, 241 quid a month with just over a grand up front, 49 mpg, 10.6 second 0 to 62 and 321 litres of boot space. Again, 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. The Chery Tiggo 7. Chery is the brand that is also responsible for 𝙄𝙄 and Omoda, two brands that are making a bit of a splash in the UK at the moment. And Chery themselves have launched their brand in the UK. I did a little video with this and the Tiggo 8 fairly recently. This one's the 1.6 petrol and with the dual clutch automatic transmission, which actually all works really well. It hasn't got the most amazing MPG in the world, so bear that in mind. 40 MPG, 9.4 second 0 to 62 time, and 484 litres of boot space. I think it's a 7-year warranty on one of these, which is crazy. And I'm sure the 3-year service plan is like 500 quid. So the continuous running cost shouldn't be too bad. And you get RAC cover included. So quite impressive when you add all those things up. 1,100 quid a month is the upfront payment. 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year, £254 a month. So it really is a bit of value. Peugeot 2008 1.2 Pure Tech, 263 a month with 791 up front. There's no admin fee on that one. 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year, 48 mpg, 10.8 second 0 to 62 time, and 434 litres of boot space. Then we've got the Nissan Qashqai, the 1.3 𝙇𝙄𝙉𝙆𝙎 mild hybrid Accenta Premium. This one's the manual. We're looking at 10.2 second 0 to 62 time, 45 mpg, 504 litres of boot space, £271 a month on a 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year with 814 up front. If you want one with a bit more spec, this one's in stock. It's got a little bit more power, 158 horsepower, so the N connector with the glass roof and the Xtronic automatic gearbox. So it's a much better spec and therefore probably a little bit better value, but it is, 30 quid a month more. Just wanted to show you that one in case you think it's just the other spec that's available. Vauxhall Grandland hatchback, 1.2 hybrid 145 GS with the automatic gearbox, 50 mpg, 10.2 second 0 to 62 time, and 550 litres of boot space. 2-year deal on this one, 10,000 miles a year, and you're looking around about 1150 up front and 295 a month on that. That's a car that does seem good value. And with a lot of Stellantis products, I'd rather lease a new one than own a used one. Hyundai Kona 1.6 hybrid 129 N-Line S automatic, £324 a month with about 1,200 quid up front. 60 mpg, 12 second 0 to 62 times. It's not breaking any records there, but 60 mpg is not to be sniffed at. 466 litres of boot space. It's not the biggest car in the world, but it gives you a lot of everything. And it's just a really nice car to live with, nice car to drive. Can't go too far wrong with a Kona. That's a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. The JQ7 with the automatic gearbox. This is in deluxe trim. Again, it's that 1.6 petrol that we've seen in the Chery Tiggo. So it's not giving you bags of MPG, 38 MPG. 10.3 second 0 to 62 time and 580 litres of boot space. The big seller at the moment for JQ, especially with the 7, is that super hybrid system, and that is brilliant. I did a video with it recently that's worth having a look. About £1,250 up front on this one and £330 a month on a 3-year 10,000 mile a year deal. The Volkswagen T-Roc still deals around on this 2-litre diesel. And it's the R line, so it's a really nice trim level, and you've got the automatic gearbox, 53 mpg, 8.8 second 0 to 62 time, 445 litres of boot space, 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year, 1,200 up front, 340 a month. Peugeot 408 fastback, the 1.2 hybrid 136 GT Auto, 350 a month, with about 1,400 quid up front. I think that's a really good looking car. And it's what a French car should be. It's like quirky and a little bit challenging, but somehow cool 48 mpg, 10.2 second 0 to 62, and 471 litres of boot space, 1400 upfront, 348 a month on a 3-year deal. The Cupra Ateca 2 litre petrol, 190 horsepower, V2 trim with the automatic gearbox and the all-wheel drive, 36 mpg, 7.2 second 0 to 62 time, and 485 litres of boot space, 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year, 1400 upfront and 358 a month on that one. Then we've got the Cupra Formentor petrols, the V2 automatic, 47 mpg, 9 second 0 to 62 time, and 450 litres of boot space. We have seen this car cheaper in the plug-in hybrid section of the video, about 10-20 quid a month cheaper from memory for the plug-in hybrid, which gets you over 70 miles of all electric range. I'm telling you that again now in case you didn't watch that section of the video, and that might be something you'd be tempted by. 1100 quid up front on this one and 363 a month on a 3-year deal, 10,000 miles a year. That's a beautiful car to look at, to drive, to sit in. Just a great car all round, and I heartily recommend the Formentor. There's only one really spicy car that I can find this month with a petrol engine that looks anything like a deal, and that's the BMW M4 Coupe. And what a car it is. Not for the faint-hearted in terms of the drive or the budget. Basically 3,400 quid up front and £1,000 a month on a 3-year deal on 10,000 miles a year for this. 28 mpg, 440 litres of boot space, 3.5 second 0 to 62 time, and it looks like that. I mean, wow. That to me is like BMW's Mustang. I think it's the car that you just look at and go, whoa. I certainly do. Anyway, I think it's a glorious looking thing. I've got some vans for you folks. A couple of electric ones to get started. The new Kia PV5 Cargo. This one looks like it's going to be a little bit of a game changer because electric vans have been a little bit meh. But this one looks like it could be very promising. This one is the smaller battery ones, 184 miles of range, 16.3 second 0 to 62 time. It's got a really decent load height in it. So the van doesn't sit particularly high. It's not particularly high roofed van, but it's got very low floor, and it means you can get a lot more into one of these than you can in some of its competitors. Evidently very nice thing to drive as well. 879 up front and 226 a month on that. That's a 2-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. And then you've got the VW Transporter T32. This is the electric version of the new Transporter. 201 miles of range, 8.6 second 0 to 62 time. Again, a 2-year deal on 10,000 miles a year. About £1,000 up front and 264 a month. Remember, on these vans, they're excluding VAT. So just something to bear in mind because they're basically commercial deals. And then we've got the ID Buzz Cargo. That gets you 278 miles of range, 7.9 second 0 to 62 time. About 1,300 up front and 328 a month, again on a 2-year, 10,000 mile a year deal. If you want a good old diesel transit, you're looking at around about 1,300 up front, 1,350 up front, and 356 a month at the moment. And then finally, the Land Rover Defender 90 diesel. So this is the commercial version of the Land Rover Defender. So it's got 3 seats in it. It's the D350 hardtop X Dynamic HSE automatic. And you are looking around about 1,850 up front and 534 a month on one of those at the moment. 6.9 second 0 to 62 time, 33 mpg. And it's a Land Rover Defender, folks. Thank you very much for watching this video. Please go and support my sponsors, ALA Insurance, and please remember to use that link to leasing.com because both those things really do support this channel and make videos like this possible. Sorry if I've rushed through this one a bit today, but you know, I have got to get to the airport. But really appreciate all the support on these videos. Really appreciate all the shares, the hypes, the likes, the comments, all of it. So from me to you, thank you very much indeed. See you on the next one. Huge thanks to all my channel members for your continued support. I really do appreciate it.